Alright, it is day 3, quadratic equations. So these are a little bit different than what we did on the first day and the second day. And that's because your answers for these are going to be numbers. Your answers are going to be numbers. So it might be 2 and negative 2. Or you might have 8 and 3. Or really any two numbers. So how do we find those? Let's go ahead and try number 3 first. I think that's the best one to show. So for number 3, I have x squared plus 6x plus 8 equals 0. Alright, the first thing, as you probably noticed, is you can multiply to the 8, but at the same time add up to the 6. So what two numbers would work for that? What two numbers would multiply to 8? That would be 4 and 2, right? They multiply to 8, they add up to 6, so I know those are the right two numbers. I'm going to use x plus 4, and I'm going to use x plus 2. Now, everything is still set equal to 0. Notice you got that equal sign right there. Go ahead and bring it down. Notice you still have a 0 on that side, so go ahead and bring that down. So now we've factored it. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to bring these two parentheses down like this. I bring down the x plus 4, and I'm going to set it equal to 0. And I'm going to do the same thing with the other set of parentheses. I'm going to bring that down too as x plus 2 equals 0. Alright, so now I have two equations to solve. Here's a way you can think about it. You can think about it as what number when I add to 4 will get 0, and what number when I add it to 2 I'll get 0. So you're probably thinking, okay, what number if I add it to 4 will get to 0? Well, negative 4 will work. Over here, negative 2 will work. So that's how I find my two numbers. But now, let's go ahead and do opposites. You see a plus 4 right here. So I'm going to subtract 4 from both sides. I'm going to subtract 4 from both sides. The x comes down. 4 minus 4 is 0, so I don't have to worry about that. Bring down your equal sign. And 0 minus 4 is negative 4, right? That's my first number. Over here, since I have x plus 2, I'm going to do minus 2 on both sides. That way, that'll get rid of that plus 2 right here. Alright, so my x comes down, nothing happens to that. 2 minus 2 is 0, so I don't have to worry about that. And over here on this side of the equal sign, we got 0 minus 2, which of course is just negative 2. Alright, so those are my two numbers that I need, negative 4 and negative 2. Now that I know the two numbers, I can put them in what's called a solution set, which kind of looks like this. Negative 4, comma, negative 2. I take those two numbers, I put them in the set, and then I'm done. Your answer is always going to be two numbers like that. Okay? Let's try another one just like that. Let's try number 7. Alright, I got x squared minus 4x minus 32. Everything is equal to 0. Again, I know I can multiply to 32 by using 8 and 4. So I write those down. And then I want to add up to negative 4. So the biggest number, that 8, has to be the negative, right? Because negative 8 plus 4 is going to give me negative 4. Now I know what my two numbers are. I can factor it like this. X minus 8, x plus 4. X minus 8, x plus 4. Alright, I factored it. Now, draw your arrows just like I did before. you're going to get x minus 8 equals 0, and you're going to get x plus 4 equals 0. So when I solve both of these, I know that for this one I can subtract 4 from both sides, and then I'll just see what I get. And then over here, I'm going to do the opposite of a minus 8, right? Remember how we do opposites when we solve equations? Well, since I got a minus 8, I'm going to add 8 to both sides. Zero plus 8 is 8. That's my answer. So now I can take these two numbers and put them in that solution set. I'm going to have 8 and negative 4. Done. All right. Let's take a look at some other questions that are on the notes. I want to look at the right side of the notes right now. So let's take a look at... let's take a look at 12. Twelve says x squared minus 36 equals 0. So let's try that one. Alright, so on my paper, I got x squared minus 36 is 0. Right now, I know that the square root of 36 is just going to give me 6, right? So I can factor it just like I did yesterday as x plus 6, x minus 6. And everything is still set equal to 0. Now I can break it down into two different equations. I'm going to take this one down as x plus 6 equals 0. And then this one over here is x minus 6. So I got to bring that down as x minus 6 equals 0. And then I solve both of the equations. Here I can subtract 6 from both sides. 0 minus 6 is going to give me negative 6. And here I got that minus 6, so I'm going to do the opposite of a minus. I'm going to do a plus. We're going to add 6 to both sides. And then I get 0 plus 6 is 6. Those are my two numbers. All right, let me put them in a solution set. So I'm going to have negative 6 and 6, and then I'm done. Okay, so it's not as hard as you thought it would be. Your answers are always going to be two numbers. So that's the notes. Now, I don't have time to go through all of these, but very quickly, let's talk about your assignment for tonight. Okay, so right here, I've got 10 questions for you. Your answers are always going to be two numbers. Now, the first 5 that you see, 1 through 5, these are going to be those kinds that you got to multiply to the end and add to the middle. So you're trying to see what will multiply to 22. And those same two numbers have to add up to 13. And then you break down into your two equations. All right? The last 5, 6 through 10 down here, these are going to be factored by square roots like you did yesterday. So I got x squared minus 16. Well, that would just be x plus 4, x minus 4, and then I would go from there. All right. Okay, so send me an email if you have any questions. I'm going to go ahead and get started on grading last night's homework. And I hope everybody has a mathematical day.